Welcome everyone to Workday 101 for managers. Today's topic is licenses and certifications. My name is Nikki Sitton. I'm an HR technology change management specialist. And our speakers today are Lenora Geisy. She's Human Resources Information Systems Analyst, and Jane Rustemeyer, Supervisor of HR Information Systems. Welcome, Lenora and Jane.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, welcome to everybody.
So today's agenda includes looking at adding versus updating licenses and certifications. We will go over the different types of notifications that employees and managers receive regarding this process. We'll look at the process flow. We'll look at non-job required licenses and certifications and where those go in Workday, and then go into a demonstration session, viewing the manager's dashboard, adding a new and updating existing license and certification, viewing notifications and the updated dashboard, and then look at running reports. So let's get started. Lenora, can you tell us when we should add versus edit a license or certification?
So the first question you're going to want to ask yourself, does it already exist in Workday? When it does not exist in Workday, then you're going to do the add function. If the item does exist in Workday, then you're going to want to edit the action. In the work guide, the information will say to update. That's just out there for communication purposes, but it will actually be the function of edit.
Okay. So what kind of notifications will employees see when they need to update a license?
The employee, they will actually receive an auto-generated notification from Workday about the license or certification that's in their record. Now, they will also receive notification as far as anything that's a requirement or a non-requirement. And that notification frequency is 30 days prior to expiration, 15 days prior to expiration, or 7 days. And this notification is generated through Workday, but depending on how their preferences are set up, they may also receive an email, but it's not going to come from any specific person. It's going to come from Workday. The managers, they actually work off a dashboard. Here's an example here, and I'll show that in the demo a little later, that if you see in the status bar a green, that's an expiration date that's greater than 60 days. Yellow is an expiration date that's less than 60 days. Or red, that expiration is going to expire with 30 days. So, and then the managers, they will receive a notification when the employee submits a license or HRIS. If we do some kind of change to the license or update, then the manager will get a notification showing that something has been changed or added to an employee's certification.
Lenora, can you walk us through the workflow of a license or certification request?
Sure. If the license or certification is a requirement of the job, then HRIS has to do a source verification of that license. So if the employee submits the license or certification, HRIS reviews the information. And then if the request is all complete, then if it's a requirement, then HRIS source verifies it. If it's a license that's health related, so appropriate to the healthcare field, then we as HRIS can go ahead and update that, approve it, and it will go into the employee's file. If the employee does not have all the appropriate information we need, saying it's a certification or license, but it's not technically a job requirement, but it's related to the health field, they will need to put that source document in the file just so we can verify who the license coming from, what the expiration date is, if by chance that information is not on there, then we have to send it back to the employee just so we have that source documentation attached. And the required element from HRS, we actually go to the governing body. So for instance, if it's an RN, then we do the certification, maybe like through licensure, through nurses, to verify all of the information that it is correct. We do like to stress the sooner that you can submit that information, the better, just so we have time to work through that. We have a service level agreement that we have 3 days for a turnaround to verify that information to go into the employee's file. But with us doing that source verification and the governing body, sometimes that might take longer. If we have some companies that verification, we may have to send an email to. So it has to go to them and be verified with them. So and especially with COVID earlier, there was a big delay on license and certifications getting renewed, getting back to us for us to get them in the system in a timely manner before they show that expiration date.
Okay, so what I hear you say with that is that if a manager sees that an employee's license is getting ready to expire within 7 days, that employee needs to get that information in to give you guys time to turn around that source verification so they're not taken off the schedule. Is that true?
That is correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. It's good to note. Thanks for that reminder. All right. We've talked about adding job required licenses, but where do non-job required licenses and certs go in Workday?
Okay. There is actually, if it's a health related license certification, those can be entered in the certification field. So for instance, if we have the example that we have listed here, we have an employee who works in HR, but they also have their OT license. So that information could be entered into her certification because it's health related. Earlier, when we had the pandemic kind of in full effect, the request was if there was somebody maybe that was a clinical partner or a medical assistant, they were asked to go ahead and put that certification out there in their file in case if they would need to be pulled to other floors or maybe work the vaccine clinic. So if it is a health related license certification, those can be entered in the employee certification. Then there is also other tabs out there that shows like education, training, achievement. So if you have another type of license that's not health related or unrelated to the field, then those can be entered. So you have that information out there. So you can go ahead and enter your education or any other type of license certification under those fields, because we like to have just like the certification that it affects for the health related, because that's the notification that goes out to the employees just saying that there's a reminder for updating your license. So you want to just make sure it's all within that health related field.
So if we upload a certification into education or training and it doesn't have a expiration date, and you won't receive those notifications?
Correct. That's actually pulled off of the certification.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for clarifying that. Lenore, could you share your screen with us so we can go into our demonstration section? We are going to look at viewing the manager's dashboard, adding a new or updating existing licenses and certifications. Then we'll look at viewing the notifications within that process and checking out the updated manager's dashboard, and then look at how to run reports.
I sure can. So what I'm going to go ahead and show here is I am going to go ahead and show, I have logged in as a manager, and what I have here is a test environment. And so what we do in here, it's not affecting anybody's records. So I have actually logged in as Beth Miles. And this is the dashboard that we have here. And this shows her employees that she has, and the status bar, which the status bar has here, if it's green, it's going to expire greater than 60 days. If it's yellow, it's less than 60 days, or red, that it's less than 30 days. So this is the information here that the managers can work off to check the status of their employees. And so, for instance, there are different ways that you can submit this, that you can put this information into an Excel spreadsheet so you can view the information. If you want to maybe pull a bigger range of your employees, you can do that. So you can actually click here and you can download it to an Excel. Or there's also the option down here that you can put it into an Excel spreadsheet. And then from this point here, you can go ahead and put your filters and go ahead and filter it however you want. So that's another way. Or there's also, if you go up to the search bar and just start typing in certification, you can put it in here. You can go ahead and select the different ranges maybe that you want to view. And so there's the spreadsheet that it would pull up that way as well. So let me go ahead and get back out of there. So those are the different reports that you can run off of there. So I'm going to go ahead and show how to add a license, how to update an existing license. I will go ahead and show both of those. And this is one of, I want to point out here, I'm going to do some actions here on Jessica. Like I said, this is just for testing here, but it shows her RN license is getting ready to expire 7/31. That's why she has a red. It's less than 30 days. So I am going to go ahead and pull Jessica over. And so you're going to go to your talent and performance. Click more, skills and experience. And then we're going to go to certification. And so here it lists the license and certification that she has out there. So we are going to, let's go ahead and add a new license. So what you'll do is you'll go to the certification field, and this field, less is better. So if you put information in there, we're going to say she's going to be a radiology tech. So we're going to do ARRT. When we put that in, it's going to show all the different license that's available for ARRT. So you can select which one qualifies, what it's for. If by chance you go and search and you cannot find the license that you're looking for, it's maybe not in system. If you click on this, you cannot find certification here. You're going to click here, and then you can just manually go ahead and type who the issuer is and the name of the certification. So we'll go back here and we're going to go ahead and do ART. And we're going to do R. If you know the certification number, you can put that information in there. If you do not, you can go ahead and just type in none. If there's an issue date, you can put that information there. Expiration date, you can put the expiration date here. Then what you'll want to do is you'll want to go ahead and attach that document. So you're going to select the files, go to your document, and we're going to pick our ARRTR, and then you'll put the information here and submit. So then this information is submitted, and it tells you that it's been submitted and it's now coming to the licensed partner. Then it will come, HRIS will go ahead and approve that information. Then once that is approved and it goes through, then I'm just gonna refresh here. And you'll see here that this is red and it says she has a nurse practitioner and a BLS. I'm gonna refresh out, come back in. And then the manager will see then on her dashboard that she has entered an ARRT. So then also the manager will get a notification in their box saying, hey, Jessica just entered an ARRT. So then she can see that that has been done, that the employee has done that. So let's go back and we are going to go ahead and edit the document. So since the license is already out there for her RN, we're going to go ahead and edit the document. And we do that just so if the employee submits it, that it doesn't put duplications out there. So you can go ahead and go here and we're going to update the information here. So we're going to go to our attachment, upload our attachment, and then put her other document that she has there showing her license. Now, in this case, since this is a requirement, if the employee puts it in here, that's fine. We will also, HRIS will go out to that governing body and verify it as well. And then we'll attach that source document. And then once again, it will come to HRIS. It will be approved if all is correct. And then we're going to go and look at Best Dashboard again. And here it has been approved. It's gone through the process for HRIS. So then you can see now here that her license is good through 7/31/22. So that's all the information here. And again, that notification would have come to the manager's box here. So she could see that she has updated or the employer HRIS has updated the nursing license.
Wonderful.
And that is the demos that I have that we went through here for the manager and the employee. So Nikki, I'm going to go ahead and give this back to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Lenore. I appreciate that. All right. We are now going to open up the floor for questions. So that concludes our demonstration. We'll look at questions that we have regarding licenses and certs.
Yep. This is Candy. I've got some questions coming in. It looks like the first question was somebody wanted to know where employee COVID shots go. I don't know if that's something you guys can answer, but they were wondering where they go in the system. Wouldn't they go in Ready Set, maybe?
Yeah, I think that is correct.
They go in Ready Set. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Ready Set is outside of Workday.
I think they can always contact their employee health representative.
Yeah, employee health or
Yep.
Yep, sounds good. Okay, and then we have another question. It says, just to clarify, the employee does not need to attach the source document. HR will attach the document when they verify, or is it better for the employee to attach their source document?
If it is a job requirement, the employee does not have to attach that document because we have to go out and source verify that document anyway. So you don't have to. It's just if it's not a job requirement that we don't have to go out and source verify, then at that time we do request for that documentation, supporting documentation to be attached.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Next question, or maybe it's just a comment here. It's it should be the responsibility of the employee to submit these, correct? And then HRIS verifies it. So that is correct. Let's see. How do we handle hospital CPR that is done monthly?
That information is actually, if it's done within SSM, there is a report that we receive weekly, and that is downloaded into the employee's file.
Okay. And Nikki, do you want, or Lenora, do you want to share your screen again? It looks like we have somebody saying they've had trouble finding their certification listed in Workday. So I was hoping maybe you could share your screen from an employee who has a certification and kind of show how to find that.
I sure can.
Thank you.
Can you all see my screen again?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let me get to, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the employee here. So when you go into, let's go out one more here. So when you go to the application and you go to talent and performance,
Okay.
click more and go to skills and experience. And right along the top here, if you go to certifications,
Okay.
here's your information right here. Here's all your certifications showing who the issuer is and the expiration date.
Okay, super. Now, are those instructions in the Workday employee guide on how to see our certifications? Do we know?
Yes, right here on the application screen, there is a Workday help tool. If you click on this Workday help tool, there's all kinds of information out here for employees, for manager. For instance, if you go to your employee and you're wanting to go ahead and add a license certification. So here's all great information as far as Workday videos and the information that's out there. And there is one out there that says Workday Employee Guide. So if you go to that guide and do a Control F and it pulls up fine.
Okay.
Type in certification. Viewing of license and certification. When you click on this, it will take you right to that information that will tell you how to view your license certification. If you're adding or updating, all of this information is right there.
Excellent. Okay. So let's see. The next question is, do actual licenses show for contracted agency RNs in Workday?
No. For contingent workers, those do not show at this time. That's actually something that's kept via the agency. Jane, is there anything else you need to add to that maybe, or?
Nope, that is a correct statement.
The next question is, if we have unit competencies like Donna writes, is there a place in Workday to keep track of that?
Not currently. So what we do right now in Workday in the certification area is based on the job requirements for the position, the job profile that the employee is in. So if a unit or a ministry or even a region has a specific item that they are doing in addition, they would have a couple options of talking with compensation and their HR to see if they need a new job profile created, to encompass that extra item that they're wanting, or they can track it themselves via, Excel or something or some other area, but we typically do not put those in the certification area.
Okay. Thanks, Jane. Next question. I have a pharmacy technician who passed the national certification. Do I forward that document? Who do I forward that document to get added?
Actually the employee, they have access that they can go ahead and submit that information and attach that document. And then once that comes in, then HRIS, we can go ahead and source verify it and update that employee's record with the new documentation.
Excellent. And that employee can follow those steps found in the Workday employee guide that we just looked at.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thanks, Lenora. And then it looks like our last question is, I have an employee whose CPR is consistently red due to the hospital CPR. He's an employee on the clinic side, but also fills in at the hospital and does the CPR over there. Is there a different CPR that should be entered into Workday? It's kind of a tough one.
It is kind of a tough one. Lenora, if you don't mind, I'll pipe in on
Sure.
this one. But that is one area that we're looking at right now, which is under review to see all of those CPR, BLS requirements. I would suggest that that person submit an Ask HR specifically on their case so that we can look at it. To see if it is due to some kind of inconsistency with the equivalency rule or what is going on, but definitely submit that in a case and we'll work through that.
Thanks, Jane. Well, that's it for our questions, so I'm going to give it back to Nikki.
All right, thank you very much. That concludes our presentation today. I want to thank everyone for joining the Workday 101 for managers on licenses and certifications. I want to thank our speakers and experts, Lenora and Jane, for all of your work and your expertise today, and our moderator, Candy, for your help with the presentation. After this call, like they've already mentioned, I will clean up the video and upload it into the Workday Help application to the manager's resources within that video library. And remember, you can utilize the Workday Help employee or manager guides for step-by-step instructions on the processes we demonstrated today. I want to thank everyone for joining us and have a wonderful day.